I need, I need to cool down. NXT WarGames just finished about 20 minutes ago. I had another video, but I filmed it wrong. I filmed it on the selfie camera, and it's just a black screen with my voice, which might be a little bit better because got this going on. Anyway, enough about me and my self-loathing. This show just, oh my god, we're getting right into it. First match of the night was supposed to be Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler, but bro, Matt Riddle. This is my first time seeing Matt Riddle. He's got potential. He's already over. He's only been in NXT about a month, and he's already over. He was over before he came to NXT, but anyway. So he comes out, he does his whole, boo thing with his shoes, and he calls out Cassius Ohno, because on the pre-show, Ohno's like, oh, you're not a bro, you're a wannabe, or something weird, right? They were supposed to have a match this Wednesday on NXT, but Riddle's like, nah, fuck that. We're doing this now. And Ohno was like, oh, okay, I'll knock you out in 1 second. Riddle's, in the corner, bell rings, Cassius goes to hit him, and Riddle just drills him with a knee, down 1, 2, 3, it's over. It was like 7 seconds, right? So, Matt Riddle's first NXT TakeOver match lasts 7 seconds. With many more to come, I assume. Next match was Shayna Baszler, the NXT Women's Champion, versus my girl, Kairi Sane, the Pirate Princess. 2 out of 3 falls match, which usually means a match goes about 25 minutes. This match went about 15, if that. Which sucks, because the show went off the air at like 9:40, which means they could have, got another 20 minutes or so. Give Kairi Sane and Shayna another 10 minutes that they could have used. Because the falls felt very rushed. Still a decent enough match. Shayna's cronies, got involved. I still don't know their names. First fall went to Shayna after her cronies distracted Kairi. Shayna locked in the Kirifuda clutch. Kairi tapped out. About another 5 minutes or so goes by. Kairi hits a ridiculous DDT onto the apron on Shayna. She goes up top, cross bodies all 3 of them, rolls Shayna back in the ring. Big elbow drop, the insane elbow. 1, 2, 3. Tied at 2, or tied at 1. So then, for the next about 5-10 minutes or so, Shayna and Kairi are going back and forth, until Shayna's cronies get involved again, and out comes Dakota Kai, which I was like, oh, that's a little surprising. I thought it might be Io Shirai and Mia Yim. Shirai starts getting, or not Shirai, sorry. Dakota Kai starts getting, double teamed. So they're like, oh, we need somebody else. And out comes Io Shirai, and she hits her acai moonsault from the top rope to the outside, wipes out all 4 of them. Amidst all the commotion, Kairi's back on the top rope. She goes for her insane elbow, and Shayna grabs her arm, locks it under her leg, rolls her over, crucifix pin, 1, 2, 3. However, 1 sec. This is the real tea here. Kairi Sane's shoulder was off the mat. Whether or not that was just, a mistake and the camera caught it by accident, I feel like the camera placement's too perfect for this not to be a setup. But at the same time, I feel like they're just going to let it ride. And then they're going to do Kairi, Io, and Dakota versus 3 of the 4 horsewomen of the UFC. And that's going to be Kairi's send-off match if she doesn't win, which I guess maybe they probably won't win. Because, you got to keep Shayna strong, I guess. So yeah, Shayna wins 2 out of 3 falls, 2-1. Next was definitely match of the night, and possibly NXT match of the year. Possibly, because there's still a couple other matches that could give this match a run for its money. But Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano has been fucking money at takeovers this year. His 2 matches with Almas, amazing. His 3 matches with Ciampa, also amazing. His match with Aleister Black, now as a heel, amazing. Johnny's gonna do wonders as a heel, I think, if they give him enough time to work with this. Because he comes out to his, his Rebel Heart music, which I'm like, oh, that's a little surprising that he hasn't changed his music. But I guess it works because he still thinks the fans are on his side, which they're not. And he comes out and he's got this big shit-eating grin. He's like, yeah, I did nothing wrong. Hey, what's up, right? He's even like high-fiving people in the crowd. Like, it's great. It's great. It's like Sami Zayn's heel work, but like if Sami was interactive with the fans. It's great. Black does his whole, rise up entrance. He's got this really killer jacket on, and the bell ring, and they just go. Like, they did not, there were no rest holds, no nothing. This match was just insane start to finish. Spot after spot, sequence after sequence. This match went for about 20 minutes, and it was non-stop action the whole time. Aleister Black is the stiffest striker in all of WWE, including main roster, which is kind of sad considering Shinsuke Nakamura is there on the main roster, but they're not really letting him, be his, himself, basically, right? I'm sorry about all that. But yeah, Black's knees are just ridiculous. He was driving knees into Gargano's ribs, into his back, into his head. He kneed him in the head a good 4 or 5 different times. Johnny hit a suicide dive tornado DDT. So he dives out of the ring, grabs him in a DDT, spins him around, drops him on his head. Black, did his little fake out thing where he, moonsaults and then sits in the ring, but Gargano reads it and super kicks him from the other side of the ring. He lands and then Gargano runs to the other side and super kicks him. Gargano hits an inverted Frankensteiner, drops Black on his head, goes for, I think, like a flying forearm or something, and Black catches him coming in with a knee. Spot of the match, though. Gargano's going for a suicide dive outside of the ring, and Black just drills him with the knee. This match was so insanely good. Gargano got not Ciampa, Black on his knees and went for a super kick, and Black just sat in his little cross-legged thing and was like, come on, give me your best shot. So Johnny lines him up and goes for the super kick. Black moves, schoolboy, Johnny rolls out of it, super kick, pulls down his knee pad, running knee, only a 2 count, which it was weird to see Johnny bust out Ciampa's signature knee. I feel like there's maybe something there, but I doubt it. End of the match was sick. Black hits a discus knee, hits a black mass, and Johnny falls into him but stays standing. So Johnny's head is on Black's chest, right? And the crowd's like, oh, and Black pushes him up and he's like, I repent you of your sins. Another black mass, 1, 2, 3. Aleister Black gets his revenge on Johnny Gargano. Just an awesome match. Easily match of the night. Top 3 match of the year for sure, because you got all the other matches that Johnny Gargano's been in. Johnny Gargano has been part of the 6 best matches. Maybe 6, definitely 6 of the top 10 matches of NXT this year for sure. Because, you got Ricochet versus Adam Cole, and Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream. This WarGames match is definitely a match of the year candidate for NXT for sure. Definitely a top 10 match. Anyway, next was the greatest sports entertainer of all time, Tommaso Ciampa versus the Velveteen Dream. Holy crap, Velveteen Dream came out dressed as Hollywood Hulk Hogan with the black and the big fucking thing. He had OVA on his shirt. I feel like that's supposed to be he's like I am Ova kind of thing, kind of like Finn Balor's whole thing, where it's like Finn Balor forever, but he capitalizes the OVER, sort of like that. So yeah, that was just awesome. Ciampa comes out. The lighting effects for him during his entrance plus his music are just perfect. This match was given sort of the cool down spot, considering what match was before it and what was coming after it. And the crowd was pretty into it for like the last 10 minutes, because the first like 15 minutes or so of the match was kind of like it was okay. Like, there weren't really that many big spots in this match. Like, the big spots came in like the last 10 minutes or so. I think Ciampa hit Project Ciampa, which is the powerbomb lung blower. Dream kicked out at 2. He went to use the title on Dream. Dream hit him with like an elbow or something and hit that twisting DDT onto the title, which I thought they were going to be redoing Eddie Guerrero versus Brock Lesnar, because Guerrero hit a DDT on the championship on Lesnar in that match and then hit a frog splash. So I thought Dream was going to go up for the Purple Rainmaker elbow, but he didn't. Dream was doing like Hulk Hogan's moves. Like, he did the big boot and the atomic leg drop. He's doing the whole, this thing, because Hulk Hogan told him, he's like, you'll probably never be anything, like when he was on Tough Enough. And now he's just like, well, guess what? The last like 2 minutes of the match, 3 minutes of the match, Ciampa goes out of the ring, pulls up the padding on the floor, exposes the concrete. Dream comes out, they launch each other over the announcer's table, and then when this next part happened, I thought for sure Dream was going to win, because Ciampa goes to grab Dream, and I guess, Mauro Ranallo is doing his commentary or whatever, and Ciampa looks at him and throws like paper or a cup of water at him or something, and then Dream grabs Ciampa, does the Dream Valley driver onto the, which is like that cartwheel, Death Valley driver onto the concrete, rolls him back in and hits the elbow drop, and the whole crowd's like 1, 2, and then Ciampa kicked out. So then Ciampa's like draped over the bottom rope, and Dream goes for that elbow drop from the top rope that he hit on EC3 when he's on the apron, but Ciampa moves. Dream misses the elbow, hits his elbow off the floor. It's still padded or whatever. And then because it's WarGames, there's like this big metal plate that runs across the entire, between the two rings. And Ciampa hits the rope hung DDT on that, pulls Dream back in. 1, 2, 3. Tommaso Ciampa is still champion. I feel like Dream maybe goes up to the main roster this week, which I'm not okay with. I'd rather him just, stay in NXT for a bit and then debut in the Rumble, to just, give the fans a feel for him. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, main event of the night, NXT WarGames 2, the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, baby. Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong versus the War Raiders, Pete Dunne, and Ricochet. Can I first start off by saying, Ricochet is so fucking cool. The dude is a real-life superhero with the music, the athleticism, the likability. Everything about Ricochet screams superhero, but they don't portray him as a superhero, which is great. Adam Cole, still over on a level that should be illegal. Just ridiculous. So it's Ricochet and Adam Cole to start, and because Undisputed Era got the advantage when Kyle O'Reilly beat, I think it was Hanson, on NXT. So then it was Kyle O'Reilly came in next. And then there was a little bit of dissension between the War Raiders and Pete Dunne. Dunne went to run out of his cage when the time came up, and Hanson pushed him away, and he ran in. Then was Roderick Strong. I'm just going through who was out next. Roderick Strong came out. He had his whole thing with, Ricochet and all them. Not a whole lot happened in that time frame. Then the other War Raider guy, whose name I can't remember, comes out of his cage. Him and Pete Dunne are fighting, and, he's obviously bigger than Pete Dunne by 100 pounds. Pushes him out of the way, gets in the ring. So then Bobby Fish is last out for the Undisputed Era. And he gets out of his cage, grabs his lock and chain, and locks Bobby Fish or Pete Dunne's cage. So now Pete Dunne can't get out of his cage, which I found kind of weird, because you can't win the match until everybody's in the cage. So yeah, like you get a beat down of everybody, and then if Dunn eventually ends up out of his cage, it's 4-on-1. But yeah, so they went. The time was up after about 3 minutes for Dunn to get out of the cage. It took him about another 3 minutes for them to get bolt cutters or whatever, and Dunn gets in the match. Not before he brings out 2 tables, kendo stick, and a couple extra chairs. And then WarGames begins. And Jesus, the 8 of them were in the ring together for probably about 20 minutes or so. And this match from this point on was just spot after spot after spot after spot after spot. Both tables were used. Bobby Fish speared the Not Hansen guy from War Raiders through the table because it was wedged between the 2 rings. He speared him through that. The War Raiders did like a running hip attack thing in the corner when you use your ass to hit the guy in the head. But Adam Cole had a trash can over his head, so that was sick. Then Kyle O'Reilly locked Ricochet in a triangle choke, but Kyle O'Reilly is laying on a table. And then Hansen is... So Kyle O'Reilly is in this ring, and Hansen's in this ring. That's about a 6-foot jump, give or take. Probably more than that, about 7 or 8 feet for sure. So Hansen gets on the top rope, and Kyle O'Reilly's like, oh, fuck. But because he's got Ricochet's arm trapped, Ricochet's able to hold him down and then break away right at the last second as Hansen jumps across the ring and just annihilates Kyle O'Reilly. And then the last, 5 minutes of this match was just bonkers. I don't use the word bonkers lightly, but fuck, this match was crazy. So Adam Cole goes to the top of the cage, and everyone's like, well, why is he going up there? Because if you exit the cage, you forfeit the match. So Ricochet meets him up there. He's like, nah. So they start fighting. Kyle O'Reilly climbs up, and he's trying to push Ricochet over the edge because, if Ricochet hits the outside, then that's an, unintentional forfeit, but it's still a forfeit. So everyone gets involved. All the War Raiders get up there. Pete Dunne gets up there, and they do that huge spot they did last year with the Superplex, the big, massive Tower of Doom. And everybody's down, except Ricochet. He's still on top of the cage. And I knew Ricochet was going to do something crazy in this match, but I was not prepared for what he did. He gets up in the corner, where everyone goes, and I'm like, okay, he's going to do a crossbody. No. He turns around, and now he's facing the crowd. So everyone's like, oh my god, he's going to do a moonsault. No. He did a double rotation moonsault, the thing he used to do on the indies. He did it off the cage onto everybody, and it was just ridiculous. I left my couch. The neighbors thought I was getting murdered because I was freaking out. And then the last 2, Ricochet's not human. I'm convinced he's not human. Anyway, so the last 2 minutes of the match was between Pete Dunne, Adam Cole, and Ricochet. So Pete Dunne, Adam Cole goes for a super kick on him. He grabs his foot, kind of does like a kuh, and then he grabs his hand, he goes kuh, and then he goes for the bitter end. Cole flips out of it, gets Pete Dunne in a suplex. Patella brainbuster, which is the knee drop, the brainbuster onto the knee, hits the last shot. 1, 2, Pete Dunne kicks out. So Cole pulls down his knee pad. There was something about pulling down knee pads tonight. Cole pulls down his knee pad. He goes for it again. Dunne, I think, punches him or something, gets him, bitter end, and then Ricochet flies in and hit. It looked like he was in the middle of a 450 or something when he hit, or maybe it was a Phoenix Splash. I don't know. But yeah, so he lands on Cole, and both Dunne and Ricochet pin Adam Cole. 1, 2, 3. War Raiders, Dunne and Ricochet win. WarGames. Man, I was sweating, not from anticipation, just the excitement and how overwhelmingly amazing this show was. Another 5-star show for sure. I don't give a shit what Meltzer says. This was just start to finish. Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler was okay, but after that, this show was just banger after banger after banger. I gotta wonder what the main roster thinks when they watch NXT and they go, Fuck, we gotta follow that again? Okay, we'll try. So yeah, I honestly am really interested to see where NXT goes now, because obviously we're gonna get we are gonna get the War Raiders versus the Undisputed Era, probably Broderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly at the next Takeover for the titles. I would love to see Pete Dunne versus Ricochet again, because they kind of, had a stare down at the end of the match, like, well, I pinned Adam Cole. Well, no, I pinned Adam Cole kind of thing, So yeah, that's my take on Takeover, WarGames 2. Like, share, subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter as Slackstyle. It'll be down in the description. And I will see you all tomorrow for my review of Survivor Series. It's going to be an interesting show, folks. Peace.